Tasmanian horse racing investigates horses on cocaine. A school district bans candy bribes used to lure kids to Bible classes. And the world's most expensive dog sells for over $5 million. These are the weird stories on Weird AF News, the only daily weird news podcast. I do weird news 5 days a week. That's right, weird news 5 days a week. Let's go. The horse racing industry in Tasmania hears allegations of race fixing and doping. A parliamentary committee looking into the Tasmanian government's response to serious allegations within the harness racing industry has heard horses were given cocaine before race meets, and a participant was sent text messages instructing them to fix races as well. So we have race fixing, and we have cocaine horses. Sounds like your typical horse racing industry, right? I just assume that they fix these races. Some of them are fixed, and I assume some of the animals are on performance-enhancing drugs. You might be wondering, how do you administer cocaine to a racehorse? I'll tell you, it's a very high mirror. That's how you do it. Okay, bad joke. All right, let's get some details about this cocaine horse racing. There was a 2-day inquiry in Tasmania regarding this that concluded right before the weekend. They heard from many industry participants and experts. There's allegations of horse doping, allegations of race fixing, and some animal welfare breaches. Now, the most serious is the drugging of the horses, because not only is that cheating, aka race fixing, sort of, but it also endangers the health and welfare of the animal. We have here an individual named Nathan Ford, who gave information saying that cocaine was applied sublingually to horses prior to racing, which, according to him, does improve performance. You're wondering sublingually what that means. It means under the tongue. So cocaine was applied under the tongue. In case you were wondering how a horse took the cocaine. And apparently one of the outcomes of this is improved performance by the horse. So increased horsepower. And you can also tell a horse is on cocaine because the horse won't stop popping his collar and talking about his Corvette. So that's another one. Another sign a horse is on cocaine is the horse is also in a Motley Crue cover band on the weekends. That's how you know a horse might be on cocaine. I mean, I'm laughing, but this is no joking matter because cocaine probably reduces the lifespan of a horse, I'd imagine, if you're giving cocaine on a regular to a racehorse, which I assume they are. All right, let's find out what they're doing about this. Is there going to be a campaign, just say nay to drugs? Come on, guys, just say nay to drugs. Just say to drugs. Okay, what will be done? Well, apparently the Tasmanian Labour Party is calling for these allegations to be referred to the Tasmania Police for further investigations. So they want to take it to a criminal level, it would seem. Probably should do that if you want to really stop it. I don't know if it's going to be effective in stopping it, but you should try. In this article, we have here Minister for Racing Jane Howlett, who would not comment on whether the allegations heard should be referred to Tasmania Police. Here's a quote from her. There is an investigation underway. There's an investigation before the criminal courts and also an investigation under the Tasmanian Racing Appeals Board. And as you would know, I can't comment on any matters before the court. If anyone does have any issues to report, please go down the normal process and report it to the Tasmania Police. Well, sounds like this Minister of Racing, Jane, is just a little too casual about what's going on over there in Tasmania. By the way, do you know where Tasmania is? I should have probably told you up top. It's an island state off the coast of Australia. They're really famous for their devil. I don't know if you're familiar with the Tasmanian devil. Super famous. Sunday morning cartoons, guys. Remember the days? Well, that's the end of the cocaine horse story. I don't have any more information. I guess I'll check in with the Tasmanian Racing Commissioner in a few months and see if there's an update. See if they can get these horses into rehab. Oh, I had another joke that I wrote for this piece. I forgot to do it earlier. I came up with some names for horses that are on cocaine. The first one is a speed biscuit. Thought that was pretty good. Nose dust. Come on, coming around the turn, it's nose dust in the lead. And it's white lines. White lines. By a nose. A powdery nose. A school district bans candy bribes used to lure kids to Bible classes. This sounds like a very uplifting story. Indeed, we have an Ohio school district has changed their policy, allowing students to legally skip school in order to take Bible indoctrination classes, and that the groups running these classes cannot offer students candy and toys to help lure their classmates to these religious lessons. Well, you wouldn't have to offer me candy or toys if it allows me to get out of school. I'll see you at Bible class, man. Yeah, sure. Teach me about your fantastical beasts and mythologies. It's better than sitting in algebra. No, I mean, I had no idea they were luring the kids with candy. Do you think that's what Jesus would have wanted? I'm not quite sure. Yeah. Hey, kid, you want a ring pop or not? Yeah, get in here and memorize the Holy Trinity. Come on in here. Come on, kid, I got M&Ms. Don't you want to hear about the burning bush? How about some candy, little one, should never be the beginning of adult-child interaction, I would say, in general. Unless the adult is Willy Wonka. And, well, no, probably not even Willy Wonka, right? I don't think we want that. Okay, let's get some more details on something I had no idea existed even. Was anyone aware of this? People in other countries are probably so shocked that this goes on in the United States. Yes, things like this happen in the United States. You can apparently walk out of your regular school and attend Bible classes instead and get some free Skittles. All of this is happening just as Ohio institutes a new law requiring all districts to have some kind of religious release time policy. Religious release time? That's odd. Does that mean I can just go sit in the playground and meditate rather than go to chemistry? It says if you've heard anything about release time, it probably centers around a Christian ministry called LifeWise Academy, which offers Bible classes that students are meant to take during the school day. LifeWise takes care of the curriculum, staff, and background checks. Local chapters, usually churches, can tap into the network for use in their own public school districts. Students then go to those churches during the school day, get their dose of biblical indoctrination, then return to school for the rest of the afternoon. I've never heard of this. You leave school, go study the Bible, then come back to school? Technically, release time policies are religiously neutral, they say. Yeah, sure, they're religiously neutral. I'm going to say they're overwhelmingly Christian. It says any organization is allowed to offer these classes to students. Parents have to opt in to letting their kids participate. No school funds are used for them. For example, if students are transported to a local church for these lessons, the church has to pay for the buses. Students also have to make up any missed assignments. They also can't skip certain core classes such as English or math. Yeah, so I guess instead of going to gym class, you can go to Bible class or something like that. I guess that's fine if you choose to. But I'd love to see what's on the menu for religious studies that you can leave class for. It's probably overwhelmingly Christian, I'd imagine. But I mean, can you go to like a Buddhist temple and meditate or something cool like that? Can you go hang out with some drag queens? That'd be kind of fun. That seems like a religious experience, right? How about like if you just put on a robe and you roam the city with the monks with a begging plate, just beg door to door along with the monks? That's way more fun than going to school, if you ask me. All right, let's get back into here. I'm curious about the candy situation. I guess are they really luring kids with candy? This sort of thing? I find it hard to believe, but maybe it's so. Now, they're reporting here that LifeWise church organization has chapters in more than 300 schools in a dozen states, teaching 35,000 public school students. A different article says there's 525 schools in 23 states that they're in. The program is so disruptive, they say. Last year, the Westerville City Schools announced it would get rid of its release time policy entirely. Oh, I guess the kids were all just leaving to go hang out and eat candy and talk about the Bible. It says the fallout to this is students who skip classes for these church lessons in general are likely to be academically behind their peers, even if they're skipping an elective. This release time also makes life harder for teachers who may have to catch students up on lessons they may have missed so that they can make sense of what's happening when they're actually within the classroom. It's the same reason a field trip for one subject can have ripple effects on so many other teachers. And while students can't skip certain required classes, they are able to skip art, music, or gym, which implies that those subjects aren't as important for their development. They say here the biggest concern, however, may be the peer pressure involved in all of this. If your friends are taking a Bible course and getting out of school, getting prizes and candy, then you're going to want to go as well. That's true. Okay, let me jump back into the Columbus School District in Ohio. They changed their policy that says any private entity providing religious instruction during the day must agree that it will not provide participating students with any materials, snacks, clothing, candies, trinkets, or other items for their return to school. So they're calling them bribes. So technically they're not allowed to bribe the kids. I don't think you have to bribe kids to want to get the hell out of class. You could just be like, hey, you want to come and do nothing over here off school grounds? We'll even come and pick you up. Yeah, I think kids want to get out of school. They don't like it. I didn't like it. Some kids do, but I didn't like it. I would have taken any opportunity to leave. What do I got to do? Pray to invisible man in the sky? Okay, sure. Yeah, I'll get in your Jesus van. Where are we going? Grooming class? Back in my day, religious organizations didn't bribe you with candy. No, they lured kids in with a good old American back massage in a van. Now, the article ends with a parent who supports these new policy changes and says that, every single school district in Ohio should adopt a similar policy. If public schools are required to accommodate religious conservatives, the least they can do is make it harder for them to recruit fresh meat by using students as target practice. Oh, yeah, it is a win on some level. I mean, the biggest win would be just to remove this program altogether. Like, if you want your child to be involved in, religion, you just do it outside of school hours. Same with sports. If you want your child to do sports, sports are after school. You want to go to Bible study on the weekends or after schools. When I was a kid, it was after school or Sunday school where you would learn religion. I think shame on this religious organization for yanking kids out of school for their, recruitment. They're desperate, though. They're desperate. The numbers are dwindling as we've become more of a secular society like they are in Europe, as we should. You got fewer people going to their house of worship, fewer people putting the cash in the collection plate. I mean, these sorts of things worry them. That's why they go out and they go to the dollar store and get all that candy, and they get the Jesus juice for the kids.
Let's rock.
The world's most expensive dog sells for over $5 million. A wealthy Benhalaru-based dog enthusiast has made headlines by buying the most expensive dog in the entire world. This individual's name is Sathish, 51 years old. This individual paid a staggering $5.3 million for Kadabom Okami, a rare wolf dog that is a cross between a wolf and a Caucasian shepherd. Not only is Kadabom Okami the most expensive dog in all of the world, he is believed to be the first of his kind. The wolfhound is 8 months old, stands at 30 inches tall, and weighs 75 kg. Here's a quote from Sathish, the rich individual that bought Kadabom Okami. I spent 50 million rupees on buying this pup because I am fond of dogs and like to own unique dogs and introduce them to India. All right. Calm down, billionaire. Billionaires are so annoying. There's Elon, and then there's Elon Lights. This guy's like an Elon Light. Indeed, this is not Satish's first extravagant purchase, it said. Last year he bought a Chow Chow, which bears a striking resemblance to Kinling Panda, for $3 million. I don't know you can spend this much on dogs. I honestly did not know you could spend over $1 million on dogs. What are the most expensive pets in the world? I would think that they're like wild animals. Now, look, I just looked up how much is a baby elephant. You get a baby elephant for about 100,000 USD. So for the price of this dog, you get 50 baby elephants. Wouldn't you rather have 50 baby elephants? My elephant army! My baby elephant army. No one's going to mess with you when you got a baby elephant army. It's the cutest little army. Okay, now I just Googled what is the most expensive pet in the world by purchase price. Can you guys guess how much it is and what is it? I'll give you a hint. I covered a story earlier in the podcast that I might give you a hint. It's a racehorse, apparently. There was a racehorse purchased for $70 million in the year 2000. And its name is Fusaishi Pegasus. Maybe is that the type of horse or the? It's a thoroughbred racehorse who won the Kentucky Derby in 2000 and was sold for $70 million. Now, as far as expensive dogs go, the Tibetan Mastiff is pretty known for their rarity and can fetch prices reaching $1.5 million. There's also an exotic cat market. Fascinating. I have here the top 12 most expensive cat breeds in the world. The Ashera can cost up to $125,000. The Savannah, about $50,000. These are big cats, I assume, or like house cats. No, they're big cats because I see Bengal is on here. You can get a Sphinx for $3,000. That's cool. All right, let me dip back into the story about this expensive dog. The owner, the guy who bought this $5 million dog, is a former breeder. He owns more than 150 different breeds, each rarer than the last. Here's another quote from him. I employ 6 keepers, and all my dogs are fed raw food. Oh, this guy sounds like such a, you know the word. He says, my estate covers 7 hectares, so they have all the space that they want to romp around. Satish also claims his canines have attracted huge crowds and people are eager to take selfies with him. Oh, this guy. And so many selfies. I've kept a list of all the selfies. Everyone wants a selfie with my dog. He charges anywhere between, $2,600 and $10,000 for a 30-minute to 5-hour appearance with his dogs? Who hires this guy? Here's another quote from this dingbat. He says, I spend all this money on these dogs because they're rare, I tell you. Besides, I get enough money because people are always curious to see them. They take selfies and pictures with my dogs. My dogs and I get more attention than an actor at a movie screening. Wow. You know, this kind of guy that you you want to perish at his own home alone and then all his dogs eat him. Is that crude and rude? I'm just kidding, guys. These are jokes. I don't wish death on anyone, really. I mean, I do, but I'm not going to mention it on the podcast because lawyers and all that.
Oh, Pod Daddy, good luck with your life, man.
Yeah, good luck with your life, man, indeed. Hi, my friends and loyal listeners. Thank you for spending time with me and the Weird AF News podcast. I hope you had a great weekend. Hope you enjoyed the Florida Friday episode as well. I thought it was very, very good. I got some good feedback from people. And someone even bought me some coffees off my website, weirdafnews.com. So I want to give thanks to Tessa and Arend, who bought me coffees and wrote a lovely little note for me. When you buy coffees for me or a coffee, you can write a little note. And I always read these because they're fabulous. It says, we love your podcast, Jonesy. It is part of our morning routine when getting ready for work. Thanks for making us laugh daily. XOXO, Tessa and Arend. Arend or Arend? I hope I pronounced it. If I mispronounced your name, I'm so sorry, Arend. Doing the best I can here with my public education. Anyways, that was really sweet that you bought me coffees. I'm so glad that I'm able to bring you some morning laughter while you're getting ready for work. It's nice. I'm always fascinated to learn how people are listening to my podcast. Are you driving? Are you getting ready for work? You just you listen to it to go to sleep? I don't know why you would, but maybe. Anyways, it's always fascinating to learn, and I'm grateful for everyone who's supported the show. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please consider doing so. Just FYI, I do news 5 days a week, and on Friday it's only news from Florida. That's what we do here. Weird news, anyways. Weird news 5 days a week, I should say. So please subscribe if you haven't. And if you want to support the show, weirdafnews.com is the website. You can buy me a coffee or you can join the Patreon as well. That's a cool thing to do. You can get bonus episodes if you do that. Yay, bonus episodes. They get me high. Yeah, I know. Anyways, I'll keep it brief, and we'll see you tomorrow for the Tuesday version of Weird AF News. Okay, bye-bye.